Welcome to IntoMath. This is grade 6, lesson 6. We are talking about decimals. We have covered decimals already in grade 5, and now we are stopping on them again for a little bit, just to go into rounding and multiplying decimals. So let's remind ourselves, what are decimals? Decimals are fractions written in a different form. When you have a decimal, you need to be very careful about the place value after the decimal point. For example, if you have a decimal 7.532, then you can write it as 7 plus 0.5 plus 0.03 plus 0.002. This is wholes, tens, hundreds, thousands. The place value is very important when you operate decimals. Also, when you round decimals, you need to keep in mind the place value. When you have a fraction over 10 or over 100, you can record it as a decimal. 0.1, 0.01, and so on. Rounding decimals can be very useful when working with them. For example, let's look at a decimal 25.185 and say we want to round it to the nearest hundredths. The nearest hundredths is 8. Rounding means that you are zeroing out anything that is after 8 to the right. For that, we need to look at the number that comes right after it. In this case, it's 5. And if that number is less than 5, we keep 8 as is. If that number is 5 or greater, we round up 1. And this 5 disappears. So rounding this to hundreds is 25.19. If I wanted to round it to the nearest whole number, I'm looking at 5 here, and the number that comes after it is 1. 1 is less than 5, which means rounding this whole number to 25 is 25.0 now, because all the numbers after that are zeroed out. I can record it as just 25. Let's try multiplying decimals. 1.02 times 4. In order for us to multiply decimals, we just essentially ignoring the decimal points when we're doing the actual multiplication, and then separating as many numbers as there are after decimal points in both the multiplicand and multiplier, so that you have the decimal point in the right proper place in your product. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 1 is 4. And then see how I have 2 numbers after the decimal points? I have hundreds. So I need to go the same number of numbers, essentially 1, 2, and my point will go right there. 4.08, or 4 and 8 hundredths is the product. This is it for this lesson. I hope you learned something new, and I encourage you to do some practice on this and move on to your last lesson of this grade, lesson 7. See you next time.